speaking of announcers, Browns on the game, or Brady's on the call for the Browns debut. Jason Kelce, Cleveland native, also officially signed with Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
How much he getting?
They didn't put the money out there.
That's crazy. Why they put Tom's money out there? They put him and Romo's money out there. They ain't put Kelce's bread out there?
I'm sure it'll come out, but it did not come out in the initial welcome tweet. So I was curious. Who are you more excited to listen to?
In the past, I would be worried that being on ESPN would stifle Jason Kelce, right? Because these traditional networks are so uptight. You heard from Scott Braun, like there were things he couldn't say about baseball teams, and now he can because he's doing his own thing, which we love, and that's what we have the ability to do that. But I feel like Pat McAfee changed the game at ESPN a little bit. Now guys are
the Manning cast.
Yeah, but the Manning can't, like Pat McAfee says whatever the hell he wants.
Now
the Mannings still don't go like McAfee does.
Fair. McAfee takes it to the extreme, but I think the door was opened by the Mannings. Then McAfee came with the barreling ram and knocked it down.
Now you can't say everything, right? Your boy Paul Pierce be out here going crazy.
Yeah. We mentioned that yesterday.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Paul?
Yeah, no, we talked. He got to get off camera. Like he can't be.
Come on, baby.
Did you hear they fired RG3 at ESPN, or they just took him off Monday Night Football? Is he gone from ESPN? Period.
I don't know.
I'm not a big RG3 guy.
I like RG3. I'll be honest. He has some bad takes, but I think his bad takes are entertaining.
The worst though is what's his name? That guy on Fox. Oh my God, he's bad.
Between
the former defensive player.
Acho,
he's the worst.
Yeah.
Anthony says RG3 is out.
Oh, he's completely out of ESPN?
Yeah,
or just
this
from Monday Night
NBC
Football?
Sports article says Jason Kelce is in and RG3 is out on ESPN's Monday Night Countdown.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's just Monday Night Football or is he still part of the network? I don't know.
I mean, is he gonna do him and Greg McElroy? He gonna do college stuff.
Yeah, he's probably better at that.
I'm excited for both of them though, Kelce and Brady.
Yeah. They're gonna be great.
I think Brady, if you listen to his podcast, like he throws some shots at the current generation. He feels like not that he's been retired for that long, but he feels like. You know, when you watch NBA Today on TNT, how those guys, Chuck and Shaq, hate the younger generation. Not hate in a bad way, but like not as good as my generation.
Yeah.
He talks about the quarterbacks not being as accurate, defenses not being as intricate, coaches not being as detailed. Like, he's pretty harsh on these guys.
Does he talk about how he had a cakewalk division for the entire time he was in New England?
It doesn't necessarily talk about that. I don't listen to his podcast so frequently, but I'm just saying he is critical.
Jim Gray's annoying.
I want to see what his angle gonna be like. Tony Romo's angle is like, I'm gonna just call these plays out, and then that got annoying for some people.
Tony Romo for a minute was like, "Oh, this is different. It's awesome," and now he's just annoying.
Yeah.
You could tell Tony. In my opinion, you could tell Tony Romo doesn't prepare well. You know, Tom Brady's going to be completely prepared. He's not going to just wing it.
Overly prepared.
Yes, and he's going to be great. And
I think Kelce's going to be really good too.
Kelce's going to be fantastic in a different way. More about personality and
the question of who you're more excited for, I was like, well, it depends on what I'm watching. If it's a Browns game, I'd rather have Brady because I don't like the distraction of like the not that it's a sideshow, but just I want to be locked in, and Brady's going to give us some insight into Deshaun and formations and protections, and from a defensive standpoint. I'm not saying Kelce can't, but I don't. There's no one else I'd rather hear from than Tom Brady.
I can't watch the Manning cast when it's a game I care about.
Exactly.
And they're great, but the interviews, I
they
don't want
take
to be
away from the
distracted
game.
by an interview.
On the flip side, if it's just a random game I'm watching, I think I'd rather have Kelce because you don't know what the hell he's going to say.
He's going to be crazy.
This year's going to break it. Like, if you thought like it was going to be crazy the last couple of years, I think this next upcoming year, we're going to break a lot of views records. Like, because there's just.
Oh my God.
Because like.
You're talking about the NFL?
Well, our show specifically. The NFL in general.
Like I really think because. Think about it, and I don't know, you weren't here yet, but when Baker was playing good and we had good quarterback play when he was playing good, City was crazy. Like, it was nuts because...
When Flacco was playing good.
When Flacco was playing...
It was crazy.
It was crazy. Flaccavelli, shout out. You know how many Kool-Aid Mafia T-shirts I sold because of Flaccavelli?
Right. But the difference is, with Baker, you thought it was sustainable.
Right.
It turned out not to be here.
True.
With Flacco, you knew realistic. I mean, there's some people that con themselves into believing it was sustainable. If Deshaun plays well, you're going to again think it's sustainable.
Right.
If Deshaun has a great season this year, then everything he did the last two seasons for me, and I think for a good chunk of fans, I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
I believe in him again. He could turn it around that quick for me. Now, it can't just be one game, but if he has a good season, then I'm going to believe he's back to being that guy, and I'm going to assume he's going to continue to be good going forward.
I think literally he could change. If he comes out, say the Browns come out and they handily beat the Cowboys at home.
Yeah.
He going to change 65% of the people's minds that was detractors.
No, I think it's 2. I think he needs 2. I think he needs 2.
The Cowboys game is going to be placebo. That's Kool-Aid. Like, if they beat the Cowboys, they're going to run that highlight for 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, and then you come back and you get Jacksonville, and it's like, okay, it's Jacksonville. You beat them last year. I mean, they lost some people. It's Jacksonville. Like, they got a chance to set themselves up for a nice little,
And the Giants in week 3. It's a nice little runway against, if you get past Dallas, weeks 2, 3, and we'll see what happens tonight with 4, 5, 6, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a nice runway to start. But the reason I think it's at least 2 weeks, G, is one game can be anything. He could have a bad game to follow that, and then it's back. And also, because I've learned how some of the Cleveland football fan psyche works, we saw Flacco throw for 3+ on Jacksonville last year. New season, new defense, but sometimes fans don't forget those little tiny details, even if they're irrelevant in the big picture. And if Watson comes out and throws for 152 and 1 touchdown, 1 pick, and a 27-6 win, you know it's going to be a comparison of.
It's not just about winning with Watson. It's about
I know.
Play well,
but that's my point.
They can't win in spite of him. They've got to win because
that's
of him.
my point.
If he comes out, and he plays really well, and they just have, say for instance, he goes down, leads his game-winning drive, and then Dak Prescott comes back and scores on the defense. If he got 330-some yards and a couple deep balls, people are going to be like, oh, no. We'll take. Hey, they won't even be mad at the L.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I agree. There'll be more excitement over how he played than the disappointment over the
We had that exact same conversation last year. Do you remember heading into the week 1 matchup with Cincinnati? Would you rather win an ugly game or lose a shootout? And it was based off that whole thing. On the flip side of that, G, hypothetically, Deshaun doesn't play well. How quickly does the pressure go from
huge
6 to 10? Could it be one? Is it one game enough?
One game.
There's been a leak on the Thanksgiving Day slate.
Of the Browns part of it.